Let's do this. Welcome, CDR. I'm Bryn. This is Matt. And this week we have been listening to the 44-year-old Nashville resident country song singer, middle finger to the rest of America, Eric Church, with his sixth album. Actually, no, sorry, seventh, which is a part of a trio, Heart and Soul. Matthew, you and I have never listened to a country album, but it looks like we've come around.
So, I don't know if I've ever not listened to a country album. Like, some of the Eagles stuff was country in their earlier, before they sort of went into like the Hotel California route. And I'm pretty sure Dad played every Eagles album available to him. So I'm sure I've listened to a country album at some point. But yes, this is the first one that I've actively sought out.
That was interestingly boring. Tell me, what was your first week of the album?
Bryn's in full fuckwit mode.
I have been having a good time afternoon, people.
I mean, the beer in the pocket probably doesn't give it away to those
That's
on
back
YouTube.
up for our margaritas when they run out. Okay,
Oh.
so I'm so excited for this album. I really enjoyed it. It's surprisingly, but I'm very susceptible to whatever I listen to. I would give the app. I will try to give my best and everything to it.
Not bad life decisions.
Not bad life decisions. No. Surprisingly, I always had the running joke that while America had invaded another country, they used to use heavy metal as torture, but they would easily succumb to it because they would find their own groove and get into it. But they switched up and would play country, and then they would crack and tell information. Was always my joke, is just like country is just torture to everyone else except for people from the Hicks. Fuck, I'd move to Nashville.
I have a question. Why is Eric Church the middle finger?
Eric Church is a middle finger because he likes to go against the grain. He doesn't bring along supporting acts or openers. He just goes, nah, I'm going to go on tour and I'm going to play 3-hour gigs and that's it. I'm not going to hope an opener. I'm not going to do encores. I'm just going to give you fucking everything. And it's just like a completely against the grain of country society, and how they would manifest their music through that way is by traveling and having your support. He's just like, no, I'll just play for 3 hours, and you know what? We will make more money that way because I don't have to fucking pay people.
Yep, fair enough.
And he's just like, he's always been the person that just will not do what anyone tells him to do. So he kind of gets free range. His signature look is aviators and a trucker hat. Do we need to really think hard about that? No, but he's a supporter for cannabis, so he's got glyco.
Fair enough. I mean, so he goes against the grain in everything but his music, right?
So, I don't know, because I don't listen to country, so I can't tell you. Just what came across my my research is he's the middle finger for country music. Okay. So it's almost like country music telling everyone else to go.
I mean, that's a pretty good branding angle anyway, if you just sort of left it at that. Clever. You got to respect that. And the fact that you've heard of him means that he had some way to puncture through.
He's a bit of a big deal. He sang the national anthem for the Super Bowl this year.
Really?
He did.
How did I miss that?
Did you watch it?
Not the Super Bowl. I couldn't. I was working. But I feel like it was one of those things that I would have like run into. Like this is
who was the halftime show?
Oh, I remember who the halftime show was. Was this a year where there was like a bunch of controversy?
No, it was this year. It literally happened like 2 months ago.
No, I can't remember. Was it like Maroon 5?
What?
Maroon 5 definitely have done it in the last couple of years. We're getting off track, Britney boy. Hey, Cass, can you, when you edit this video, can you put who the Super Bowl halftime act was just to get us out of this stink? Let's move along.
All right. You know, none of that's going to be cut.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you, you classy bitch.
How was your week with the album then? Clearly it's left an indelible print.
Well, the second half was easier than the first half.
Of the week or the album?
The week with the album.
Okay.
It always comes to me is like once I start reading into the artist's point of view about the album and what they were feeling or doing at the time, it's kind of entertaining. So this album Church went away from Nashville to North Carolina in the mountains, and he took his band with him, and then he brought other people in to kind of upset the band, like create this sort of tension. He wanted to put his whole group in a new sort of situation and create an album from that. So he brought in his band and he brought in new people. They went to a new area that's never had a studio or an album produced there before. So it's completely brand new. And instead of coming in with like a bunch of ideas and working it, for 28 days, they wrote at least one song a day. They write it in the morning, put the music together in the afternoon, and try and produce it by that way. And so that's how it turned into a triple album. Because they had so many, but like they would do at least one a day. And like sometimes like one wouldn't work, but then they'll be like, I want to go back to, say, Heart on Fire. Being the only song, like when Church went up there, he only had 5 songs he went there with. He went in there full ready with Heart on Fire. So that's why you kind of get with the opening song with the Heart album, Heart on Fire, is a little bit more polished and just this absolute rocker banger country song that just really rams in there. And as I was trying to say to you before, was that the first 3 songs are almost like a rock opera where you got a little bit of Meatloaf and a little bit of Neil Diamond involved, where it's just this over dramatic, over passionate, like just really bam into it. And even if you get into the second song, which is Heart of the Night, which is just really, really low for most of the end, but when it comes into the end, it just got this bum 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 bum, this full beat that just drives it into the next song being Russian Roulette, which if you sat back and you close your eyes, you could almost picture this being on a theater stage. And it really does kind of give me that rock opera, just a theatric scene in my brain, imagination. But lyric-wise, it's pretty much just everything that's ever been thrown into a country song.
As far as we can tell, given this is our first country album.
Exactly. You know, if it's not about a John Deere truck or going fishing and leaving my girl, I don't know what it is.
Well, that's it. So, I mean, that's the problem with coming into an album like this, is that we've been conditioned by pop culture to think certain things about what country music is about. And the thing that disappointed me most about this album is that it was about all of the quintessentially cliched country things. And so I found it very hard to get past a lot of the analogies because they were all what I was expecting, and that's probably what I think is the most disappointing thing for me for this. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. This was a tough week for me.
Well, country was always going to be a tough week, but I listened to it again before we came here. I knew the songs that I was not going to enjoy at all, but there were other songs like, I can get past this. I can really enjoy well, quite frankly, the amount of effort and energy and heart they put into the song is obviously why the album is called Heart, because it has got heart. In
literally the name of half of the songs and buried in the lyrics somewhere. I found that a little bit overbearing, funnily enough. I got to the point where I'm like, great, well, setting your heart on fire, gee, Heart of the Night, never break heart. You know, it's in all of the songs. The problem I have is the entire thing felt very cliche because of it. I would say though, I want to do the pros first. So obviously I didn't like the album, but let's go through the things that I think were really good about this album.
So, under 5.
It's going to be under 5. Let's accept that at face value. And it's not because the album is bad. It's because based on this album as a country album, I don't like country music broadly. And I didn't find very much in here to make my opinion shift on that. Anyway, let's talk about the positives. He has a great voice.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Excellent voice. He has he has quite a good range on him, very good control over his voice between the quiet and the loud parts. He has punchier moments. He has spoken word moments that fit in really quite well. I think his voice clearly fits the music genre basically perfectly. So it's no surprise that he's a good thing in this music space. There are some songs that deviate from the cliche. Yep. So, for instance, Bunch of Nothing, I think has to be one of the better tracks on the album. I don't know if it deviates totally from the cliche, but what it does is it puts a far more interesting spin on it. As you were telling me beforehand, and I would concur based on the way that the lyrics are sort of set up, it's it's a conversation between two guys in a bar, one talking about how, you know,
He's lost the girl.
Yeah, he can do some things, but he doesn't know a ton about that. And I really enjoy the wordplay there. Stick that in your country song, even though the chorus kind of isn't great. This is the track that I think diverged most from the country theming, and so it gets absolute props for that.
Do you feel like that's a bit of a middle finger to country music genre in itself? Because I found that it's like, put this in your country song, like send that to number one.
Yeah, potentially. Again, not being completely up to date with the ins and outs of country lore, if you will. I'm not certain what it's a middle finger to specifically, but the song is good. It's more interesting. It has great backing female vocals that I mentioned to you before the podcast would have been excellent if they'd put like a men's version and shoved it into Valhalla from the Skeggs.
It would have been sick. It definitely would have been awesome. I'm glad you pointed that out because she sent them for the remix.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly.
Do this, do shit like this next time.
And tracks like Crazy Land are good.
I love Crazy Land. Like, it was just this offset song that you didn't see coming, and almost like a Mr. Men land of Crazy Land. It's like, oh yeah, like I understand. This is crazy. Like, you left your missus or you had a breakup in a little shit situation.
And there's the odd line that I think is actually particularly well worked.
Yep.
Yeah, so for instance, the one that comes to mind most is the chorus line from Russian Roulette, you know, messing up my head playing Russian Roulette with the radio. It's a cliched notion, but I like the wordplay with messing up my head with Russian Roulette.
Well, yeah, he also has I'm looking for a melody without a memory.
Yeah.
I think those two tie in very just seamless.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. Yeah, this isn't a bad album, but this is not one that I enjoyed. So I think I'll put the line in the sand there.
You line like, I'm just not down for country. But you like one day you're gonna have to come over, and then when you come over, you're gonna be like, actually, Eric Church is pretty fucking mint.
Maybe if I am reincarnated as someone else, it won't happen in the next 80 years. I'll give you that.
Oh, what would you put on that?
Like literally all things that I own now, previous and future.
You would not say that. Do not say that because you know it's going to be my like job to make you enjoy country.
The problem I actually we may as well move very quickly into the cons then, and why I actually don't think there is any chance I will like this album.
Okay, cool. Go on for it.
So the cons, it's cliched throughout. Every single country cliche I feel like I have rattling around in my head gets represented more or less accurately throughout. So whilst he might be a middle finger to the country scene, he is still a part of the country scene, and clearly not enough divergent from it to be interesting to me at this point in time. The music is all well constructed, but it comes with that country flair and for some reason it's a slickness that I really don't find appealing. Ignoring, say, the song Bunch of Nothing,
would you say that Bunch of Nothing is the only one that's got teeth to it?
Yes. Oh, without
is it only because
maybe not that.
Is it because of the steel guitar that just like ding, like just throws it off?
The riffing is far more interesting in that song.
It definitely is. Yeah.
I think the song construction in "Stick That in Your Country" song is the most interesting on the album from that perspective, and then the rest is sort of just a wash for they're equal for last in terms of the interest there.
You don't like the first three songs?
Look, they aren't outright bad, but I don't want to listen to them again. And what I should also say is that the guitar playing and the mix are all hyper competent, right? This is a well produced album. It sounds crisp. The acoustic guitars sound quite great, and his vocals mix in well. Like, they've sharpened it to a fine point, and that's why I think I won't ever like it. It's like they didn't really fail on anything.
No, of course not.
And yet I sit here wanting to clean my ears out after every listen. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling on about it. I'd rather throw it to you now for maybe some rebuttal. Surely there are things there.
Look, oh, wow. You know, it's always hard to rebuttal next to Matt when he looks like Huckleberry Sunflower. For me, for the album, look, I don't take country music very seriously, and I don't really take any music seriously because we're looking from the artist's eyes, and we don't always connect. For some reason, for me, when I listen to a country album, I feel like it's a moment to act up and be a little bit silly.
Sure.
Because you can get that rhythm and you can get that groove and that little bit of energized bunny running through you. And I found it with the first, maybe not with the second, but with the first three, you do have this sort of continuous momentum that happens of this. And I said to you before, and I will exaggerate on it, is like a theater. It's opera. You can imagine the first person coming in, just building the whole excitement of the story to come, and then it just drops off. And then it does drop off in the second song, but then it comes through with that passionate, just like 4 beat at the end of the song. It's like with the still beating heart of the night, bam, 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 bam. And the 4 beat that just rolls out, and then you roll into Russian roulette. It's like, I'm taking a chance, and then it rolls into the story. But you are right when it comes to People Break. I just didn't know how this song fell into the album. It was kind of off center, and it really just dropped off the whole mood. Once again, you went from high, low, and then into probably one of the 2 best songs being Stick That in Your Country Song. And they just, that song didn't line up with the song before it or the song after it.
So I take your point, in the first point you're making, which is the fact that you can get into like a space where you sort of accept the genre for its warts and all, and then get into a mode where you can sort of relax and enjoy it. And like, there's a part of me that ironically enjoys songs like WAP, for instance, because like it's a silly song to sing.
It's so stupid. You got to put yourself in the silly. You got to put yourself in that mood or emotion for a certain album. I get that. Like there are albums that I listen to or bands I listen to, particularly where I was like, I want to listen to that because I want to feel like that.
Yeah. I completely understand that. I guess for whatever reason, the need to be a country boy just never really sort of manifest within me.
I guess you never really felt like getting in touch with your origin, maybe.
Perhaps not. But
no.
Can we go back to People Break? Because
okay, you know what? If you really want to take on People Break, go for it.
So my comment sounds like a South Park parody.
Yes. Matt and Trey Parker I get you. Look, the only thing I wrote down for People Break is like the harmonies are so beautiful, and it's like they are just so gorgeous and amazing and perfect for this song, but like I just could skip it.
The lyrics are just beyond cliche in this instance.
It's just too much. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Like it's not even just like it's a parody. It's the way he sort of sings. Like I said, he's a pretty good singer, and the problem is that this track would be the one track I would use as an example of when I don't necessarily think it works so well, because he sounds like Randy trying to sing country music, especially at the start, right? So anyway, less said about that song, the better.
Look, I did say to you, sorry, sucking back my margarita. This song I said to you is like it could easily be in a love story movie from Nashville. It's a Notting Hill parody Nashville love story, and this would be the song that would fit right in there. I feel this is just a fucking throwaway. This is just ultimate market making for a love sick story.
This was a ballad attempt that I don't think worked particularly well. The only other track I haven't sort of hit on is Love Shine Down, which is the last track. Like the saving grace for that particular track is actually the
ending.
Yeah, absolutely. The ending. The vocals are actually really quite great. This has that like early 60s vibes. I want to say like, you know that Family Guy episode where they put the entire Conway Twitty song right smack bang in the middle of the episode? I get like throwbacks to that with like the real sort of clean distortion on the guitar that they play. I like a mix of Conway Twitty, like Roy Orbison in a very like sort of slowed down 60s vibe. Once it's over, I usually don't push repeat and move on. So that's probably the best part about Love Shine Down is that it ends.
Hey, this is true.
I shouldn't be so mean. Like I said, it's well produced. There's plenty of good, but
definitely, it took me 3 or 4 listens to realize like it kind of does build to the end, and you know, because this is a 3-part album, that it may just, you know, lead into the next one. Because the album is called Heart, it's got to go out with a bit of a beat.
Oh, did you write that down?
No, I didn't. I didn't make that
Very,
on the
very
spot.
good.
I'm fucking good, eh?
That's...
Sometimes. Other times, like, oi, seriously, 1% is good. 99%, shit.
Anyway, I don't have a lot more to say about this album. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Favorite song? Look, I didn't... Okay, after Stick Down Your Country song, Never Break Heart, I just got achy breaky heart sometimes.
You know what my note next to that song is?
What?
This song is awful, sleepy, and uninteresting.
Look, 50 seconds of single keyboard chords with piano and harmony. Electric guitar, again, for like 9 seconds and then drops off. Like, there's a multiple amount of tracks in this album that just goes with this guitar. It's a sick little solo, and then it's just like, bloop. I'm like, Jot Out, Crazy Land. I liked it. The finger picking in it. Like, there's a lot of finger picking in this acoustic, which is great. It's not just all strums. Like, there is...
The guitar work is very good throughout.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and I can appreciate when it comes to acoustic guitar. Sometimes when I hear it's not just chords, is if there is picks or there are finger picking, you're like, oh my god, there's actually kind of the skill behind this. There's someone who's actually dedicated their life to a piece of art.
And the solo in Heart on Fire is competent.
Fuck yeah, great. Bunch of Nothing, quite frankly, really hit me because I love a little bit of steel guitar. It was like just rusty razor edge song that really came through. Like, I know a whole little bit of about something, but I don't know a whole
Mate, that is the wrong line to try to be reciting once
I
you've
know.
had a few drinks.
I try my best. I try my motherfucker best.
Anyway, anything more broadly about the album? Otherwise, let's close this door, please.
The only thing I really want to say is Love Shine Down on Me at the start sounded like the Cup song, Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the part where it is. In the Love Shine Down is, Lady, let your light shine down on me. It's
down.
Alright, Matt's wrong with it. But like the last song I get this the Cup song from Pitch Perfect, but obviously it builds, and then it breaks out and then just it's the end of the album. If you're a fan of Eric Church, you will probably be on the email list and get the second out of the Trio album. And
so wait,
very soon.
Stop, Bryn, shush.
I'm not wanting
you need to clearly articulate what that means. So for the uninitiated, Heart and Soul, there is a middle album for the fans called And. It's that little in-between part. So you have to be a fan, you have to be part of the
church choir
in order to get it. So that's what he's talking about.
In the future, we will be doing a review for Soul.
Really? Oh, Bryn, genuinely, I was like the album I was going to choose was meant to be something of like an amnesty after the last couple of albums we've chosen. So obviously like Megan Thee Stallion, and then we have
I
this.
enjoyed Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, then you've enjoyed two of these, so I need to pick something that you don't, because I'm suffering
the
away
only thing
here.
you hurt me with is mathematical rock, which is a rubbish horseshit of fucking musical instruments that do not line up.
You've missed the point, and that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of it.
Wait, we all know that Matt likes music with a little bit of teeth, and I like music with a whole lot of energy.
Do you promise that we have to listen to Soul?
We will.
Okay, then I'm literally changing my album choice right here and now.
To Soul?
No. Unfortunately, you've ruined the amnesty. This is your opportunity, last opportunity. Are we doing Soul?
We are doing so. It's a try album.
I'm really sorry, Cass. You are the one who's being hurt by this.
This is not true. She will not be listening to the album that you produced this week.
But you have to.
But I don't care.
So I need to come up with a score for the album. If you're partial to country, you'll like this album.
You know what? If you just want to have a clean album to play to your kids that doesn't have body, like, yeah, fucking Eric Church is the way to go. Let's be a little bit clean sometimes. Okay, ma'am. What did you score? 4.5.
So he gets 1 for the technical proficiency. He gets 1 each for the 2 songs that I liked, and that's where the points run out. He gets 3. 3 out of 10.
He's lower than...
He is the same as Kid Laroi, but yes, lower than Megan Thee Stallion, yes. This is also why I don't want to listen to Soul. So this is your last chance to renege on guaranteeing that Soul gets played.
Oh, look, I like all the albums that we've ever listened to. You're just a sad
Really?
piece of- yeah.
So there is not a single album that you don't like?
Shaggin.
If you can't pronounce it, you can't slag it off.
Slagenheim.
That's not correct.
Slagenheim.
I mean, I'm sitting in a ritzy place here because it's a made-up word. You could be pronounced throat wobbler mangrove for all you know. That's a Monty Python reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Throat wobbler mangrove.
Schlagenheim.
Schlagenheim, yeah. You're a confusing individual. Anyway, this week's album is we're going to listen to Violence Unimagined.
Ooh, sick.
And the artist is Cannibal Corpse.
Sick. All right, I'm happy with that. This is CDR. I'm Brune. This is Matt. Cannibal Corpse next week. Catch ya.
This is an about face from country.